Yasu! I'm Catherine Rain, and today we are going to be making a popular Greek side dish, Spanakorizo, or spinach with rice. It's a popular dish, especially during this time of the year, which is Lent. I think this is a great dish because it highlights the Mediterranean diet, the healthy side of it. It also highlights the tomato and lemony flavors that are usually expected in Greek dishes. The ingredients are a bag of spinach, tomato sauce, olive oil, a half cup of rice, some salt to taste, half of an onion chopped, and then at the end some lemon juice to just sprinkle on it. And then also the different things you need are a Dutch oven, a cutting board for the onion, and then a knife for the onion. Okay, so first to start out, we'll chop the onion up. The onion goes at the bottom of the whole dish when you're starting to cook to add more flavor in. It's nice, it distributes a nice little oniony flavor, and then also adds another vegetable to the dish. You want to make sure that you cut it up into small pieces so then it's a little bit easier to distribute the flavor. So now the first step is to saute the onions we just chopped up. So first we'll add in a little bit of olive oil. That's to help coat the pan and then make sure that the onions will not stick to the pan while you're cooking them. Then we'll turn this on to about medium heat. And so then we'll add the onions in. And then right now we will also be adding the salt to taste. Most Greeks are members of the Greek Orthodox Christian Church. This church is a major part of their culture because it helps determine their morals, what holidays they celebrate, and their diet for much of the year because they have to follow fasting during parts of the year. Important times and holidays within the Greek church are Christmas, Pascha or Easter, which is coming up next weekend, and is usually celebrated on a different Sunday of the year than Western Easter. They also celebrate Epiphany, which is in January and is the time that Jesus was baptized. And another important day is the feast day of the Theotokos, which is the Virgin Mary, when she died. Greeks also celebrate their saint days, which is a name that is given to them at baptism and is usually celebrated as another birthday type day of the year. Now that the onions are a nice golden brown, we can start the next step, which is the main part of the whole thing, which is adding the spinach, rice, and tomato sauce. So first, we'll start by adding about a handful of spinach for the layer. Want to make sure that you get it to different parts of it. Okay, and then we'll use a portion of the rice, about a palm full. Make sure that you distribute this throughout again. And then another important part of this dish to add some flavor is a little bit of the tomato sauce, and you want to make sure that part of the rice gets hit with the tomato sauce so then that it has a liquid so it's able to cook. After this, you just keep repeating this step until all of the spinach is used up. So we'll add another layer of spinach on. Another palm full of rice. And then the tomato sauce again, making sure to get some tomato sauce on the rice so then you have that liquid to help cook it, make sure it's softened. And then we'll do one more layer of the spinach on here. And then add another little bit of the rice. And then add our last little bit of tomato sauce to the top. Greek Orthodox Christians spend much of the year fasting from certain foods since it's an important part of the culture, the religion and culture. They do this to learn moderation and to also help them grow in their faith. Greek Orthodox Christians are expected to fast from meat, all fish with a backbone, dairy, certain desserts, and then during certain times of the year, wine and oils. The major time during the year that Greeks follow this fasting is during the 40 days before Easter, which is known as Lent, and that's going on right now, so this is a very timely dish. They also have a smaller Lenten period before Christmas, and then also during other major holidays, such as the feast day of the Theotokos, or Virgin Mary. They must fast before that. Now that we have all the layers on here, we are just going to cover it up to keep the heat in, and then we're going to put the heat down to low to make sure that everything cooks but does not burn or anything too quickly. And then we are not going to stir this at all. Periodically we are going to pick it up and then just shake it a little bit, get the spinach moving a little bit so that none of the spinach burns, but you're not going to be stirring. That can ruin like all the layers that we just worked hard to make. Greece is known for its delicious and at most times healthy food. Many of the foods are full of flavor. The diet is characterized by Mediterranean staples such as olives and olive oil, lemon, tomatoes, seafood, lamb, different legumes, leafy greens, feta cheese, and wine and wheat. Greeks generally eat 3 meals a day. They start out with breakfast, which is a small meal. It consists of coffee and then either koulouria, which is a braided cookie, or they have paksamadi or another type of bread. Sometimes if they want to have a bigger meal, they'll have cold cuts or something like that. Examples of main dishes are moussaka, pasticcio, souvlaki, padakia, and kokoretsi. Moussaka is a dish with a base of potatoes, and it also contains eggplants, onions, minced meat during times when they are not fasting, and sauce. Pasticcio, which is a family favorite, is a lasagna type meal where the meal contains some spaghetti, minced beef, onions, tomatoes, sauce, and cheese. And souvlaki are Greek meat kebabs. They can have cow, lamb, anything you can kind of think of as meat on there. And then another major staple are padakia and kokoretsi, which are both lamb dishes. Greece also has many delicious desserts, including koulouria, which are braided cookies I talked about earlier that are eaten with coffee. They also eat loukoumades, which are honey puffs. Other famous desserts are galababoudiko, which is a custard pie, or melamacana, which are honey cookies. Okay, now that the Spanakorizo has cooked for an hour, it's about done. The spinach leaves have wilted and the rice has softened. Another great way to add flavor into this dish is to squeeze some nice lemon juice on it. So now it's time to try and see how we did. That's very good. I like how the lemon adds some more flavor, and then we get to have some of the tomato in to add the main source of flavor. Thanks for tuning in.